On this edition of Early Look, I'm going to be previewing the bantamweight fight as part of UFC 324 between Umar Nurmagomedov and Deiveson Figueiredo. My name is James Lynch. If you've never watched the show before, I'm going to go through a bunch of different stats and intangibles. Then I'm going to give you my prediction for this fight at the end. Let me know in the comments what your prediction is for this fight. Would love to hear from you and discuss this fight. Like we usually do, let's do a quick tale of the tape between these two. Umar Nurmagomedov, 19-1 record, 30 years old. Deiveson Figueiredo, 25-5-1, 38 years old, so a bit of an age gap there. 5'8" to 5'5", 69-inch reach to 68. So Umar going to be younger. He's also going to have a bit of a height advantage and a slight reach advantage in this fight as well. So Umar, a lot of advantages in this one. And keep in mind, this is only a 3-round fight. With the implications in the division, this probably should have been a 5-rounder, but we're getting 3 rounds with these two as well, and it's going to be interesting. But let's start first with Umar Nurmagomedov, who is the betting favorite. We'll talk about the odds a little bit later. So Umar, you can see it there, 19-1 record. He's got 2 knockouts, 7 submissions, and 10 decisions. Currently ranked number 2 in the bantamweight division. He's 30 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. So he's 8 years younger, has a 3-inch height and 1-inch reach advantage. He's got fight of the night 1 time against Merab Dvalishvili. He's got performance of the night 2 times against Sergey Morozov and Leone Barcelos. Made his amateur debut way back in May of 2016. Made his pro debut later that year in December of 2016. Made his UFC debut in January of 2021. He is 7-1 in the UFC with 3 finishes. Some notable wins include Leone Barcelos, one of the few guys to actually finish Leone Barcelos. If you look in his career there, finishing him in the very first round. Got a performance of the night in that one, like I mentioned. He also has wins over Corey Sandhagen and Mario Batista. His only loss in the UFC and period is against Merab Dvalishvili in a very close fight, which took place at UFC 311 almost a year ago. He's had a couple fights that haven't gone through before. He had the Nathaniel Wood fight way back when, which was delayed back in 2020. I believe that was due to his uncle passing away, Habib's father. I had the first Sergey Morozov fight, which was rebooked because of an illness. I was supposed to fight Jack Shore in 2022. There was an undisclosed reason for that. And then same thing with Sandhagen. But overall been pretty active throughout his career. Although saying that, maybe I take that back a little bit because he's had a few layoffs earlier. So if we look here, going from Morozov to Brian Kelleher, there was a 409-day layoff. So if you remember, missed a bit of time with that. Going from Nate Maness to Leone Barcelos, there was a 203-day layoff. And then going from Merab to Mario Batista, there was a 311-day layoff, the second longest layoff in his career. Getting a nice turnaround here, though, going from October of 2025 to January of this year. So nice turnaround there. The only close fight he's had that some people reference, again, most of his fights that he's won by decision were pretty decisive going his way, but I do see some people talking about how they think he beat Merab Dvalishvili. If you go look on MMAdecisions.com, that's the website where the media can submit their scorecards. If you look here, that was back at UFC 311, like I mentioned. You can see all the media members scored the fight for Merab. Again, it was a close fight. Like if you go look at the stats, of that fight, again, it was close. Merab only outlanding him 111 to 104, but a lot of people did feel like Merab did enough to get the victory. So just wanted to point that out because, again, sometimes you look at wins and losses and you don't know the actual context of it. Let's look at Umar's overall stats, though. Very impressive here. Significant strikes landed per minute, 4.08. His striking accuracy very high here at 57%. His striking defense is at 60%, doesn't get hit that much. Takedown average 4.30, very high number there. His takedown accuracy is at 47%. His takedown defense is 79%. Don't know if we'll see Figgy hit the mat here. And his sub average is 0.3. That is pretty much everything you need to know about Umar Nurmagomedov in this fight. And we'll go move it along to the former flyweight champion, Deiveson Figueiredo. Big opportunity here to play the role of spoiler. I mentioned it there, 25-5-1 record. He's got 9 knockouts, 9 submissions, and 6 decisions. Currently ranked number 6 in the bantamweight division. He's 38 years old, 5'5" with a 68-inch reach. He was the former UFC flyweight champion 2 times. He's tied with Brandon Moreno for 3rd most title wins in UFC flyweight division history. He's got fight of the night 3 times and performance of the night 1 time. He did not have an amateur debut. He went straight to the pros, just like his opponent, Umar Nurmagomedov, made that pro debut back in February of 2012, made his UFC debut in June of 2017. He is 14-5-1 in the UFC. He's got 8 finishes. Some notable wins include Alexander Pantoja, 2 wins over Joseph Benavidez, Brandon Moreno, Rob Font, Cody Garbrandt, Chito Vera, and Mario Batista as well, although the Batista win was... actually, hold on. I'm reading the... he never fought Mario Batista. What am I talking about here? He... As I'm looking at Figueiredo here. I didn't update this. That's my bad here. But no, the Benavidez fight, Brandon Moreno, the Rob Font fight is correct. The Cody Garbrandt fight's correct. I just put Mario Batista in there by accident. I meant to say Montel Jackson. That's what I meant to say. So I caught myself there. And that was a fight he was a big underdog in. Remember, Jackson was a big favorite here, minus 330, and Deiveson Figueiredo beat the brakes off him, plus 265 underdog, getting it done there. His only losses are Brandon Moreno, had 2 losses to Moreno, also Piotr Jan and Corey Sandhagen, not bad losses to have on the resume. Let's talk about weight classes with Deiveson. He's fought 24 times at flyweight. He's had a catchweight fight of 127.5, and he's fought 6 times at bantamweight. He's only had 1 layoff really in his career, and that was the 3rd Moreno fight to the 4th Moreno fight. There was a 366-day layoff. But outside of that, he's been pretty active. Fought Mantel Jackson in October, just like Umar had his last fight. He's getting a nice turnaround here. Fought 2 times in 2025. Always like to see the activity level up there. Let's talk about some of the close fights that Deiveson Figueiredo's had. So if you go back and look here again, you can go on MMA decisions. The first one that always comes to mind, I mean, this was ages ago, but the Jared Brooks fight way back in 2017, a fight that he ended up winning. We had 6 media members score the fight for Deiveson Figueiredo. 8 media members scored the fight for Jared Brooks. So this was, one of his first UFC fights. A lot of people felt like he didn't win that. There was the draw with Brandon Moreno. UFC 256, 14 media members scored it a draw, 13 media members scored it for Figueiredo. So that could have been a win there for Figueiredo, could have changed things. We might have had one less Brandon Moreno fight, although you never know. And then there's the last fight with Moreno, the 4th one, UFC 270. Sorry, the 3rd fight, which was a bit more controversial because he obviously got finished in that 4th fight. 3rd fight, UFC 270, January 2022. 17 media members scored the fight for Figgy. 8 scored it for Moreno. So he did get the win there, but something we got to point out. Let's look at his stats. Again, very impressive. 2.75 strikes per minute. So strikes per minute is a lot lower than Umar's. Umar's at 4.08, so something to keep in mind. His striking accuracy is at 54%. That's lower than Umar's. His striking defense is at 49%. That's pretty low, right? So he does get hit a lot, has taken some damage by, conversely, Umar's got a 60% striking defense. Deiveson Figueiredo's takedown average is 1.71. His takedown accuracy is at 35%. His takedown defense is at 57%. That'll definitely be tested in this fight. And his sub average is 0.13. And if we go take a look at the odds right now, they do have Umar a huge favorite here at minus 1,600. This has got to be one of the biggest betting favorites he's been in fights. Yeah, this is the highest he's been in his UFC career. The closest one was the, well, that's wrong. It's supposed to be Umar Nurmagomedov and Paul Hughes. But I think the closest one he's had, Mario Batista, was closed at minus 700. I guess Nate Maness would be the closest he had. He's also a minus 1050 against Raoni Barcelos as well. So not the first time he's been a big favorite, but the way things are looking right now, he looks to be, one of the bigger favorites that he's had there. So again, coming in at about minus 200 right now, minus 800. It opened and closing at the time we're doing this is at minus 200. So the line's really shot up. A lot of money coming in on Umar. And similarly, you can see this on Tapology as well. If you go to the fan picks, whoops, that's not what I'm looking for. If you go here with the fan picks, 95% of fans picking Umar, most of them picking by decision here at 86.2%. You've also got 10.1 by submission and 3.8 by KO, TKO. Only 5% are picking Figueiredo to win by decision. That's 51.2%. There's 36% of them are taking him by knockout. That's interesting. Umar's never been knocked out before. Okay, and I don't have the AI stuff. I'm still waiting for them to upgrade my account, so I can't give you an AI prediction, but maybe if I get some time before this card, I can add that in a separate video. Okay, so who am I picking in this fight? Not going to have some crazy prediction to start the year off here on early look. I am going to be going with Umar Nurmagomedov, but I'm going to take him by decision, and here's why I'm going the decision route as opposed to taking him by stoppage. So a couple things. First and foremost, 3-round fight. Usually with 3-round fights, you tend to get more decisions than you would a finish. Umar Nurmagomedov, 53% of his wins are by decision. That's 10 total. Figueiredo's never been finished at 135. I think that's a key thing here. I think the fights you did see him get finished in were at flyweight, and I think a lot of that had to do with the weight cut. He was cutting a lot to get to those weight class there. So technically, he's been finished by Sandhagen, but it was a knee injury. I don't really count that as a stoppage loss per se, because it was more of an injury there. So as far as like his durability goes, like he's a guy that has not like been like knocked out or submitted at 135. That's what I'm getting at here. This was again an injury. We don't need to debate this in the comments. It's honestly not that serious, what I just said there. The other thing is that Figueiredo's got he's got 57% takedown defense as well. So I don't think like Umar going and submitting him. I mean, Figueiredo has been submitted once in his career, but again, I don't think it's going to be like just a total mauling here. But the 49% striking defense is a bit concerning. He has taken a lot of punishments. So I do think it will be worn out enough. Is that enough to survive 3 rounds? I think it is. The other thing is Figueiredo, 8 years older. That's always concerning, such a big age gap here. And I will also say, I don't think Figueiredo is the same at 135 as he is at 125. And part of that could be the fact that he is older, but also we just haven't seen a whole lot of him there where I think like again, you look at these wins here, like Garbrandt, the Font win was good, but not anything that really looked like outstanding. Same thing with Chito Vera. I think these fights we saw with Sandhagen and Yan, in my opinion, showed that he's not really a contender. Good win over Montel Jackson, but I don't think very highly of Montel Jackson in this weight class. So I don't think that's like a huge win for him there. Umar has 2 wins by submission in the UFC. Deiveson Figueiredo's last submission loss was 2021. Like I mentioned, his last KO loss was the knee injury, and before that was a doctor stoppage. So kind of what I'm getting at here, while Figueiredo has taken a lot of punishment with that 49% striking defense, he's also tough to finish overall. So I think he can hold on for a decision here. So yeah, again, you're not going to get great odds on Umar Nurmagomedov just straight up, right? We're getting into the thousands there. But if you want to go decision, I don't even know if we don't have the props on that yet. That may be a prop I look at. And even then, you're probably going to have to parlay that if you want to get better odds. But yeah, don't think it's a huge shocker here. I'm going Umar Nurmagomedov via decision. And hopefully, if he wins this fight, he'll get to fight Petr Yan. But I got a sneaking suspicion that if O'Malley beats Song Yadong, he's going to end up leapfrogging Umar to get the title shot, which isn't fair, but we're in a new era here with Paramount. So let me know in the comments. Usually I say, let me know in the comments your prediction. Is anyone here picking Deiveson Figueiredo? I think that's the best way to do this. If you're picking Deiveson, let me know how you think he wins. Would love to hear from you. I think most people are picking Umar. And if you are picking Umar, those of you out there who thinks he wins via stoppage would like to hear from you as well, or just hear from you in general. It would be great. Follow me on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, @Lynch on Sports. My name is James Lynch. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.